on. Forget the cards. Here's your bonus question. What's the proper question?
Will you?
Is that a question in your question? Yeah, it's will I. I can do almost anything, but it's will I do it now? Because there's a lot of things I will do, but not until next week. What can you do with something like this? What's your gut tell you?
Find the square root of 36.
No, that's not it. Janelle's over there talking to us in copies again. What's that?
Find the square root of 36.
Can you clean it up? Can you add these two numbers where they are? You realize this is just like exponents. It's not a real number. It does not show up on your number line anywhere, does it? This is shorthand, just like exponents were. So just like exponents, what number does that represent? 6. Does it look a little more familiar now? 10 over 2 is 5. But what if you get something like 41 that does not have a number that breaks down so nice? What is that? 9 plus square root of 18 over 3. What could you do with that? And yes, you already know. Can you clean the top up at all? Was 18 a square? No. So what we do a couple of minutes ago when you have a number that's not a square inside the radical? Can you break this up?
Find the biggest square.
Mhm.
And non-square.
What's the biggest square that goes into 18? Got your list of squares? A 4 doesn't go into 18. How about 9? Yes. 9 times 2. And again, I'm just writing all these steps out so I don't lose anybody. Be the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. A lot of people just go from here right to there, which is fine. 3. Square root of 9 is 3, right?
Yeah, when you say go into, you mean go into evenly, like its factor.
Right.
Okay, so I was thinking you could use 4, because 4 times 4 is 16, and then I don't know.
4 goes in 4 times what gives you 18? 4.5. Do you really want to introduce decimals to this? I didn't think so. She didn't want to admit it, but she could, oh, he made it. So are we done? 9 plus 3 times the square root of 2 all over 3. Are we done? Why not, Jeremy? How can I? Well, but keep in mind, like I mentioned a minute ago, we can treat these much like we would variables. If you had 9 plus 3x, can you put the 9 and the 3 together? No. Because if you do, this has 3 times the square root of 2. Adding 9. If you put these two together and call it 12 square root of 2, now you're saying it's 9 is being multiplied by the square root of 2. Is it? No. I'm going to disagree with you. You didn't go far enough, Brad. Option 1. We did this before, long ago, I think. If you have, yeah, we did. Back in chapter 5, if you had 9 plus 3x over 3, we could break it into 2 different fractions, couldn't we? We had that in either chapter 5 or 6, where if you have a single thing on the bottom, you can break it into up into 2 fractions. 9 over 3 plus the square root of, or 3 times square root of 2 over 3. Can you reduce either one of those? 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times the square root of 2 over 3 is something on the top that's also on the bottom. Would they cancel each other out like they just did in chapter 7? There's one option. There is a second option. Sure, there's more than that yet. Option 2. We can take this and factor it. 9 plus 3 square root of 2 over 3. Can you factor the top?
For the last one you said, where did the X come from?
What X? Up here?
Yeah.
This is as an example of how you could. We can treat radicals like they were variables. If you had 9 plus 3x over 3 back in chapter 5 or 6, we broke that into 2 of them, didn't we? And did them separately.
But that's not stemming from this problem.
This is following this. The problem is following this. This followed the same exact pattern. Okay, then try option 2. Can you factor the top? Start with G and with CF. Is there a GCF for 9 and 3? Yeah, what is it? 3. And now? Cancel it off against the bottom.
I don't have any more functioning molecules in my brain.
Okay.
For that quiz.
Then just write it down and watch the video later. Because there's more. What happens when the alphabet gets involved? Like in the second side, on the right-hand side of that page. What do you do when the alphabet gets involved? Down here, right? Sure. Yes, no? If not, that's okay. Okay. So the rest of you think about what are you gonna, let's look at that first one. 43. What is the square root of n? No, square root of x to the 10th power. What times itself gives you x to the 10th power? You already know. Yes, don't give me that look, Aaliyah. You know what this answer is. Believe it or not. Kind of scary, but yeah, a lot of what we're doing, you guys already know what you're doing, but you just don't know that you know.